On the morning of August 14, 1701, high in the cold Andean mountains near Cusco, Peru, a group of Spanish colonial workers followed a narrow stone trail through thick mountain fog. The Inca Empire had fallen more than a century earlier. Yet rumors still spread among locals about forbidden ruins hidden above the valleys. The men had been sent to search for abandoned gold deposits. Instead, they found walls, massive walls. Dark granite blocks rose silently from the mist, fitted together so perfectly that not even the blade of a knife could slide between them. No mortar, no cracks, no signs of collapse, despite earthquakes that had shattered newer Spanish buildings across the region. One worker reportedly stopped and whispered, "These stones should not exist here." The air felt wrong, thin, still. Even the animals refused to move closer. You step nearer to the fortress entrance and begin to notice strange details. The stones are not uniform. Some weigh several tons. Others appear melted at the edges, as though exposed to impossible heat. The angles are irregular yet somehow mathematically precise. Every block locks into another like pieces of a giant puzzle. The Spanish had seen impressive Inca construction before. They had dismantled temples across Cusco to build churches and government buildings. But this place felt older, much older, and what disturbed them most was its location. The fortress stood on a steep ridge nearly impossible to access with heavy equipment. Even today, moving stones of that size through the Andes would require cranes or helicopters. The locals called the place the Fortress of the First People. Years later, historians would associate the site with Sacsayhuaman. But in 1701, almost no European understood what they were truly looking at. At first glance, the structure resembled a military complex. Narrow stone passages forced visitors through carefully controlled routes. But something did not make sense. The walls were too sophisticated. Spanish engineers noted that many blocks had dozens of angles cut with extraordinary precision. Certain sections appeared resistant to seismic vibration. Spanish colonial buildings frequently cracked or collapsed. Yet these walls remained untouched. How? The official explanation: the Inca were brilliant stonemasons. But as excavations expanded, strange contradictions emerged. Archaeologists found evidence that parts of the fortress predate the Inca civilization entirely. Beneath some walls lay older foundations buried under layers of sediment and ash. Then came the tool marks, or rather, the lack of them. Workers expected to find chiseling consistent with bronze or stone tools. One visiting engineer wrote, "The stonework resembled softened clay hardened into rock. Did the builders possess a lost construction method?" And then came the tunnels. Workers discovered narrow underground passages running beneath the fortress. Several explorers claimed the tunnels connected to hidden chambers beneath Cusco itself. But excavations suddenly stopped. Officially, the terrain was too unstable. Unofficially, some suggest they uncovered something authorities did not want disturbed. No records clearly explain why entire sections were sealed again. The deeper researchers looked, the more impossible it became. And beneath the mountain, something remains hidden, something no one fully explored. Ancient fortresses, truths hidden for thousands of years in the heart of Peru. Technology ahead of its time, challenging everything we thought we knew about the past. The deeper they dug beneath the fortress, the stranger the story became. By the late 1800s, archaeologists began documenting details that colonial explorers ignored. What was once believed to be a simple military stronghold no longer fit the evidence. The fortress was too complex, too deliberate, too advanced for the era. At sunrise, when cold light cuts across the Andes, shadows form along the zigzag walls. From above, the entire structure resembles the teeth of a massive serpent. In Andean cosmology, the serpent symbolized hidden knowledge and the underworld. But symbolism was only the beginning. The real shocks were found underground. Excavation teams uncovered sophisticated water channels carved directly into stone. These channels controlled rain runoff with astonishing efficiency during storms. That detail shocked engineers. Modern fortifications struggle against such water damage. Yet this ancient structure had endured centuries of rain, earthquakes, and extremes. Its builders understood geology and seismic stability far beyond pre-industrial levels. And then researchers noticed something else. The stones were not all local. Analysis revealed that several blocks originated from quarries kilometers away. Some stones weighed over 100 tons. No wheeled transport existed in the Andes then. No iron cranes. No draft animals capable of hauling such weight uphill. So how were they moved? The traditional explanation claims ropes and ramps. But many archaeologists privately admitted there were serious problems with that theory. The slopes are brutal. The altitude weakens the body quickly. Certain stone placements appear so precise that any error would have shattered them. There are almost no signs of correction. No evidence of failed placement attempts. It is as if the builders knew exactly where every stone belonged before starting. Then came the discovery that changed everything. A layer hidden beneath. The lower layer was rougher, simpler. The upper layer was vastly superior. That reversed the accepted timeline. Civilization usually improves over time. Here, the oldest walls appeared to be the most advanced. Some historians proposed that the Inca inherited the site from an earlier culture. Quechua oral traditions spoke of ancient builders called the first ones. Spanish priests dismissed these stories as myth, but evidence kept surfacing. The same impossible stonework appeared at Ollantaytambo and Machu Picchu. Multi-ton blocks cut with precision. Angles so exact they remain aligned today. Yet no written records explain the techniques. Secrets may have vanished forever. Then the truth became darker. Spanish dismantling of sacred structures. Inca stones were reused to build churches and mansions across Cusco. Ironically, earthquakes later exposed the difference in engineering quality. Spanish walls collapsed. The ancient foundations remained standing. Certain stones contain strange indentations nicknamed rope marks or handles. But the greatest mystery lay underground. Sealed passageways and tunnels. Known locally as chincanas, these tunnels extended for kilometers. Several expeditions entered. Not all returned easily. Some claimed the tunnels concealed royal treasures or even darker secrets. Then access was restricted, officially for safety, but rumors spread rapidly. What if the Inca were not the original architects of these stone fortresses? The question grows louder, buried beneath centuries of dust and silence. Evidence suggests a forgotten era of high engineering in the Andes. The hidden truth remains carved in stone, waiting for us to understand it. Whose hands truly raised these walls? The mystery of the Andes continues. By the mid-20th century, the fortress above Cusco had become more than an archaeological site. It had become a battleground of ideas. Every new excavation at Sacsayhuaman seemed to deepen the mystery instead of solving it. Historians, engineers, and geologists all examined the same stones, yet arrived at different conclusions, and the doubts kept growing. One theory argued that the fortress represented the peak of Inca engineering, a triumph of labor. According to this explanation, thousands of workers spent decades quarrying and transporting stones, using only stone hammers, bronze tools, ropes, and ramps. It sounded reasonable, until engineers tried to recreate it. Modern experiments demonstrated the difficulty of moving stones weighing over 100 tons. Even more difficult was the precision fitting itself. Many blocks contain multiple interlocking angles. Some surfaces curve inward subtly while still aligning perfectly with neighboring stones. The margin for error is almost zero. One misplaced cut could ruin months of labor. Yet across the fortress, mistakes are remarkably rare. You crouch beside one of the massive granite blocks and run your fingers along the seam. In some places, the gap between blocks is so thin that even paper barely slides through. No cement holds them together, and somehow, after centuries of earthquakes, they still stand. This led to a second theory. Methods now lost to history, specialized grinding techniques, or plant-based chemical softening agents. or advanced heating methods capable of reshaping stone surfaces. The idea sounds impossible at first, but certain Spanish chronicles contain strange descriptions. One account mentioned stories about a plant capable of softening rock like mud. Another described stones joined as if melted. Mainstream archaeologists remain skeptical. No chemical process has been proven capable of softening granite at large scale using ancient materials. Still, the stories refused to disappear. Then there were the astronomical theories. At sunrise during the winter solstice, shadows align with mountain peaks in specific ways. The fortress may have functioned as a ceremonial and astronomical center. The mountains themselves mattered. In Inca belief, powerful spirits known as apis inhabited the peaks. Certain walls and towers may have aligned with solar events or ritual processions. But beneath the spiritual symbolism remained the engineering problem. How did ancient builders achieve such seismic resistance? Experts discovered that the irregular polygonal stones actually move during seismic activity. Instead of rigidly resisting earthquakes, the walls flex slightly and then settle back into place. Modern earthquake-resistant architecture uses similar principles. Ancient societies achieved extraordinary feats worldwide without modern technology. But Sacsayhuaman still felt different, because some features appear almost contradictory. It is as though multiple construction phases from different traditions overlap. What if the fortress was built across generations separated by thousands of years? Archaeological layers suggest human occupation long before the Inca Empire emerged. If an older civilization once mastered advanced stone engineering, only fragments may have survived. And then came the forbidden topic: ancient catastrophe, a forgotten pre-Inca civilization destroyed by natural disaster or societal collapse. Mainstream archaeology rejects extreme versions of this idea. But even cautious scholars admit that large portions of Andean prehistory remain poorly understood. Entire settlements still lie buried beneath jungle, mountains, and modern cities. Every time archaeologists believe they understand the fortress, another contradiction appears. Another tunnel, another buried wall, another stone impossible to explain. What if the greatest secret was never destroyed? What if it was hidden deliberately? The fortress still stands above Cusco, silent, unmoved, and after more than 3 centuries of excavation, nobody can fully explain it. At dusk, the granite walls begin to darken beneath the cold Andean sky. Tourists walk along pathways where warriors and unknown builders once stood. Cameras flash. Guides repeat familiar historias. But beneath the official explanations, the mystery remains unresolved. Advanced surveying technology has revealed hidden structural irregularities. Ground-penetrating radar detected possible voids and buried chambers. Some may be collapsed tunnels. Others appear to be intentionally sealed spaces. No full exploration has ever been completed, partly because of preservation concerns, partly because the mountain itself is unstable, and partly because archaeologists fear damaging evidence that may never be recoverable. Standing before the massive zigzag walls, the fortress does not feel like a ruin. It feels functional. The geometry still works. Rainwater still drains efficiently through ancient channels. The stones still absorb seismic shock. In some places, the walls remain more reliable than nearby colonial buildings. That reality forces historians into an uncomfortable position. Ancient Andean engineering was not primitive. In many ways, it was astonishingly sophisticated. Yet key pieces of knowledge vanished. No surviving documents explain the full construction methods. No preserved workshop reveals how giant polygonal blocks were shaped so precisely. Exactly how old are the oldest sections of the fortress? Mainstream archaeology attributes most construction to the Inca Empire in the 15th century. Historical sources describe massive state labor projects transforming Cusco, but beneath those layers lie older foundations. Some researchers argue these earlier structures belong to predecessor cultures. The timeline stretches far deeper into Andean prehistory than currently accepted. Earthquakes, reconstruction, and colonial destruction blurred the evidence. When the Spanish arrived, they dismantled portions of the site for building material. Churches and mansions across Cusco still rest on stones taken from sacred structures. What was lost may never be known. And then there are the tunnels. The stories refuse to die. Locals described underground passages connecting temples and hidden chambers. Spanish chronicles mention explorers searching for royal treasure in the colonial era. Some never found what they sought. Others claimed the tunnels stretched beyond comprehension. Modern archaeologists acknowledge subterranean structures likely exist. Mapping them completely is nearly impossible due to urban construction and collapse risks. Still, occasional discoveries keep the legends alive. Collapsed openings, sealed stone doorways, hidden chambers revealed accidentally. Each new discovery adds another question instead of an answer. And perhaps that is why the fortress continues to fascinate the world. Not because it proves impossible civilizations or supernatural myths, but because it exposes how fragile historical certainty truly is. Human history is incomplete. Entire technologies disappear. Civilizations collapse. Knowledge vanishes faster than stone. The people who built these walls understood mathematics, geology, and seismic engineering with extraordinary skill. Ancient societies may have been far more capable than history once allowed. As night falls across the Andes, cold wind moves through the stone corridors. And somewhere beneath the fortress, beyond collapsed tunnels, the final answers may still remain hidden.